Hello everyone and welcome to Westminster. Behind me, Nelson's Column. Over there, thousands of British patriots who are here today to protest and to march as one against the systematic poop and abuse of white working class girls that has been happening up and down the land for decades, whether that be Rochdale, Rotherham, Telford, Oxford, Birmingham, Bolton, Bradford, Leeds. Young white girls sacrificed at the altar of political correctness. The fact that now we have this inquiry, will it go far enough? Really? We all know why it's been covered up. Certain people, whether that be in the social services, the police, or even going straight to the top of the corrupt politicians right down there. I have met with many people from up and down the country today, each with a story as to why they are here, whether that be from the southwest, whether that be from the east, the north, Scotland, Wales. I just thought I will make you realise that this is nationwide, and so I really want you to listen to the reasons why certain people are here. And I'm going to end, because I was in Birmingham with Paul Golding and Ashley, as to why people need to get up to Manchester later on. Anyway, thank you all for all of your likes, your shares, your subscribes, and trust me, I'm back. I'm firing on all cylinders, and here we go. Thank you very much. Thanks for all your likes, your shares, subscribes, and cheers.
It's going to be an interesting day today.
I'm here first and foremost for the children. I've got a granddaughter of my own. I want to know, when I'm dead in 15 years' time, my granddaughter is going to be safe, and that she isn't going to be governed by a Sharia law or otherwise, and where children are not, and girls are not treated with respect. They are just a piece of meat. They are the children that have been raped, the biggest cover-up of all time. 50 towns, all covering up things that have gone on, and calling these young girls prostitutes. It is an outrage. Secondly, knife crime. Calm. What is Calm doing for our London? Diddly squat. He's taking money everywhere he can. He's more worried about his ULEZ than he is about human beings. And I will be at every protest until both Starmer and Calm are out.
So you're from London originally. Do you recognise the London of today?
You could not pay me to go back to East London, because there are no white English people in the East End of London.
Why do you think that is?
I've been there, I've seen it. My mum died last year and I had to go to the City of London cemetery, and as we drove through, it was Spot the White Man.
Ah, unbelievable. So do you think that we can save this country?
If people act now, the worm has got to turn. British people have got to stick up for their values, and they aren't the same as the foreigners that have come in, and they are not their values.
Brilliant. Brilliantly well said. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Right, so why are you here today?
I'm here to get Keir Starmer out of government. I'm here for the children. I'm here for everything that's going on that's not right in this country, and I'm mainly here for Lucy Connolly, because she's from my hometown. 31 months for her words. It's enough. It's enough protesting. Today is the day Keir Starmer packs his bags and gets out of Downing Street.
Well said.
Thank you.
Right, one of the best t-shirts here. So why are you here today?
I'm here for the children.
And you live in Somerset?
Wellington, Somerset.
So what's it like down there?
Peaceful. It's like going back in time to the 70s.
So do you have migrant hotels there?
I don't think so at the minute. There might be one, because they're starting to come into the town, so... You know what I mean? It's like, because there's so few people in there, you do notice it.
So do you worry for your kids or grandkids?
Well, my kids have grown up, but my grandkids, yeah, I've got 12 grandkids, so...
12 grandkids?
Yeah.
So do you, like, by attending this march, what do you hope to achieve?
I don't know, just showing my support, you know what I mean, for the kids, you know what I mean, enough's enough.
So,
and it's still going on, they're still raping the children, and the corrupt government is there and there, you know what I mean, they do nothing.
So
I'm sure WEF puppets.
So you agree that there's a two-tier system in this country? Definitely. So how do we solve it?
Well, we've got to change the system.
By voting them out?
Destroy the system, actually. Vote them out, but hey, they're all corrupt, they're all run by the banks, you know what I mean? That's why they're at the top. The banks are the ones that create all the trouble.
BlackRock.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So,
and Bill Gates.
Bill Gates, yeah, they all need
the World Economic Forum.
Yeah, they all need to go.
So you're here, and how long did it take you to get here?
For 4.5 hours.
4.5 hours, that's dedication. Thank you very much, sir. Cheers. Thank you. I think they're very powerful signs. So why are you here today?
I have to admit, as I've just explained to you on camera before I went to camera, I'm not the most, best speaker, but I'm a, passionate mother and a passionate campaigner and a decent human being. And our lives were, I won't mention names or anything like that, but our lives were destroyed. Mine and my offspring's beautiful lives were destroyed when my offspring came forward. One child came forward, now an adult, a young adult, came forward with very serious abuse allegations, which was indicative of child sexual exploitation, grooming gangs. We were not protected. We were quickly disbelieved. We went through the discourse of disbelief. I was counterattacked very quickly. The father was the person, and the abusers, which my daughter had alleged, and I knew as well, were met before ourselves. No investigation full or competent took place. I was then taken into family court, accused of neglect, which I believe it happens to lots of mothers in London and all over the world, just to put a veil, I believe, over the true perpetrators and the true facts, the true crimes. So the women, the safe, protected mothers or parents, are criminalised, silenced and separated from their loving child. Their lives are destroyed because they're not protected. They just. I lived in a society, my friend, where I thought that we were protected. I thought, I held institutions in high regard, but it was the police, or it was and I'm still polite to this day to all of them, and I am who I am, and I'm not judging, I'm not saying, but I never thought that this would happen to me and my daughter and my offspring. But what I did think, when my offspring, very young age, had the bravery to come forward with these allegations, we expected them to be investigated fully and competently and not counter-attacked pretty quickly to put veils over the abuse. And it destroys lives. We've been trying to heal from this now for 3 years. My offspring now, my daughter is now an adult, but for 5 years of her teenage life, she had the bravery to come forward. Some survivors and abuse victims don't come forward until they're, in their 20s, 30s, some never. My offspring was brave enough to come forward at such a young age, and then to be silenced and separated is it's just a disgrace. It's frightening, and it's a disgrace that we're in this position today where brave children and their parents are coming forward asking for protection, and they're not. It's a massive story. Failed years of discrimination. I'd won an education discrimination case before my offspring's disclosures when she was younger. That was sadly used against me. I was called a complainant and a vexatious just because I'd won a case against a local authority for failing to put appropriate measures in place for my daughter, who was born partially sighted. So when we came forward with these abuse allegations, she was not investigated. Procedures didn't happen. Completely failed. No evidence, credible evidence towards me. I was counterattacked with ridiculous excuses of neglect, shoved into a family court, left with a family court order that's separated from me and my daughter, me and my child for 5 years of her teenage years, despite the court orders not making sense. Not making sense. Also, the safe, not a protective parent when coming forward with their brave child's disclosures. You know, most of them, including me, have no mental health illness at all. You know, but things change. We're goaded into having expert witness assessments for them then to be maligned, not make sense. The family courts are aware that a lot of the information is not making sense. Information is kept back, data protection information is kept. It's massive, it's so hard for me to explain. But it is a London borough, and when the child and the parent is then reunited, the gaslighting from the abusers and the abuse, and then the gaslighting from the authorities then who choose to, who choose to protect the perpetrators by counterattacking and helping the abusers frame the innocent parent and child. And you know, it's just shocking because other children are involved as well. You know, you go forward, you share information with these expert witnesses, psychiatrists. That's who that they're called. You know, just to be assessed so badly, so wrongfully, so maligning, when it's clear they've not followed procedures. And then the women then, and so rather than see protected parent then and child, it's like we're criminalised. We're criminalised. We're made it out. It's made out in court that I lied, when I should have been in a family court trying to protect, trying to show that I had not neglected my offspring in any way. That was showed. That was showed. So why was I then separated from a further 4.5 years when the court orders that are usually issued to parents when they lose custody of their children for any reason, and I was a good exemplary mother, the court orders are not even making sense. They're not making sense. They're, the abuse that was allegedly, initially shared is left open. The innocent parent can prove that they have never neglected their child. But the child is still separated. We're not listened to. How can this, all that tax-paying money, and then when the child and the parent then are reunited, the damage is already done. Further persecution. They don't help you to find homes out of the borough that you were, it's just shocking. But I'm sorry I went on there. I hope I covered. I'm
that's
not the
fine.
most articulated.
What's happened to you is absolutely shocking. So even more shocking is, what do you think when Keir Starmer says that you're far right or blowing that dog whistle? How does that make you feel?
Well, I mean, to say, I have respect. I don't want to say too much, I don't want to get into trouble, but I have my own views on the government, and I feel incredibly let down. In many ways, a lot of people here are passionate about, better, safer child protection service practices put in place, but also passionate about the disabled. Everyone's here for different reasons, but all the same, we're all passionate about our country. We're all passionate about our country, and we deserve to live in a country that we feel safe in. We pay our taxes, we should feel safe. So, I'm also passionate about human rights, and to feel that some of these professionals and key people are human rights, and it frightens me, because I see the good. I see the good in people. I'd like to see the good in politicians, but I do get disappointed when I can see that so many people's lives have been failed and destroyed, and when you are reunited, the damage is done. It's so hard, because like I said, you can still be further persecuted, whether the child wants to move away from the borough, or they want to get back in college. You're still persecuted, and then you're left with, being accused of having mental health illness when, oh, you've made it up. Well then, tell all these women in London, other parts of the UK, and further afield, that they're making it up, when especially there's no investigations taking place fully and competently in the first place. That's all I can say.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm
That's
sorry,
very,
I'll say
very
so
powerful.
much, but thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Right, we're marching towards Downing Street. Why are you guys here?
Just because we think it's so wrong what's happening to children. I And then the fact that it seems to be the government are just turning a blind eye to it. Police officers are turning a blind eye to it.
Everybody's turning a blind eye to it, and it's because they're white.
So what do you think about Corbyn up there?
Is that Piers Corbyn?
Yeah,
The
that
wanker. Fucking Piers.
Jeremy Corbyn's brother.
Oh, I don't know.
A great scientist. So Paul, how well attended was Birmingham?
Well, it's very well attended. A lot of people said they weren't going to come because it was Birmingham. The name Birmingham summons up a lot of dread in people because it's so Islamified, it's so multicultural, so much mass immigration. So a lot of people actually held back, but we still had a great turnout and we dominated the city centre and we outnumbered the opposition by a long way. In Manchester, I imagine, I've been walking around this protest all day and people have been coming up to me, see you in Manchester, see you in Manchester. And I hope anyone watching this, come to Manchester. It's going to be much bigger than the last one. We've got a huge stage, huge screen, thousands of flags for people. It's going to be a true spectacle.
Thank you very much.
Saturday, the 2nd of August, 12 p.m, 12 midday at Manchester Piccadilly Station.
Cheers. Thank you.